A passage from a passage from Teaching a Stone to Talk by Dillard. We are here to witness. There is nothing else to do with those mute materials we do not need. Until Larry teaches his stone to talk, until God changes his mind, or until the pagan gods slip back to their hilltop groves, all we can do with the whole inhuman array is watch it. We can stage our own act on the planet, build our cities on its plains, dam its rivers, plant its topsoils, but our meaningful activity scarcely covers the terrain. We do not use the songbirds, for instance. We do not eat many of them. We cannot befriend them. We cannot persuade them to eat more mosquitoes or plant fewer weed seeds. We can only witness them, whoever they are. If we were not here, they would be songbirds falling in the forest. If we were not here, material events like the passage of seasons would lack even the meager meanings we are able to muster for them. The show would play to an empty house, as do all those falling stars which fall in the daytime. That is why I take walks, to keep an eye on things. And that is why I went to the Galapagos Islands. All this becomes especially clear on the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands are just plain here, and little else. They blew up out of the ocean, some plants blew in on them, some animals drifted aboard and evolved weird forms, and there they all are, whoever they are, in full swing. You can go there and watch it happen and try to figure it out. The Galapagos are a kind of metaphysics laboratory, almost wholly uncluttered by human culture or history. Whatever happens on those bare volcanic rocks happen in full view, whether anyone is watching or not. What happens there is this, and precious little it is. Clouds come and go, and the round of similar seasons. A pig eats a tortoise or doesn't eat a tortoise. Pacific waves fall up and slide back. A lichen expands. Night follows day. An albatross dies and dries on a cliff. A cool current upwells from the ocean floor. Fishes multiply, flies swarm, stars rise and fall, and diving birds dive. The news, in other words, breaks on the beaches. And taking it all in are the trees. The Palo Santo trees crowd the hillsides like any outdoor audience. They face the lagoons, the lava lowlands, and the shores. I have some experience of these Palo Santo trees. They interest me as emblems of the muteness of the human stance in relation to all that is not human. I see us all as Palo Santo trees, holy sticks, together watching all that we watch, and growing in silence. In the Galapagos, it took me a long time to notice the Palo Santo trees. Like everyone else, I specialized in sea lions. My shipmates and I liked the sea lions and envied their lives. Their joy seemed conscious. They were engaged in full-time play. They were all either fat or dead. There was no halfway. By day they played in the shallows, alone or together, greeting each other and us with great noises of joy, or they took a turn offshore and body surfed in the breakers, exultant. By night on the sand they lay in each other's flippers and slept. Everyone joked often that when he came back, he would just as soon do it all over again as a sea lion. I concurred. The sea lion game looked unbeatable. But a year and a half later, I returned to those unpeopled islands. In the interval, my attachment to them had shifted, and my memories of them had altered the way memories do, like party-colored pebbles rolled back and forth over a grating, so that after a time those hard bright ones, the ones you thought you would never lose, have vanished, passed through the grating, and only a few big, unexpected ones remain, no longer unnoticed, but now selected out for some meaning, large and unknown. Such were the Palo Santo trees. Before, I had never given them a thought. They were just miles of half-dead trees on the red lava sea cliffs of some deserted islands. They were only a name in a notebook. Palo Santo, those strange white trees. Look at the sea lions. Look at the flightless cormorants, the penguins, the iguanas, the sunset. But after 18 months, the wonderful cormorants, penguins, iguanas, sunsets, and even the sea lions had dropped from my holy heart. I returned to the Galapagos to see the Palo Santo trees. They are thin, pale, wispy trees. You walk among them on the lowland deserts where they grow beside the prickly pear. You see them from the water on the steeps that face the sea, hundreds together, small and thin and spread, and so much more pale than the red soils that any black and white photograph of them looks like a negative. Their stands look like blasted orchards. At every season they all look newly dead, pale and bare as birches drowned in a beaver pond, for at every season they look leafless, paralyzed, and mute. But in fact, if you look closely, you can see during the rainy moments a few meager, deciduous leaves here and there on their brittle twigs, and hundreds of lichens always grow on their bark in mute, overlapping explosions which barely enlarge in the course of the decade, lichens pink and orange, lavender, yellow and green. The Palo Santo trees bear the lichens effortlessly, unconsciously, the way they bear everything. Their multitudes, transparent as line drawings, crowd the cliff sides like whirling dancers, like empty groves, and look out over cliff-wrecked breakers toward more unpeopled islands, with their freakish lizards and birds, toward the grieving lagoons and the bays where the sea lions wander, and beyond to the clamoring seas. Now I no longer concurred with my shipmate's joke. I no longer wanted to come back as a sea lion, for I thought, and I still think, that if I came back to life in the sunset where everything changes, I would like to come back as a Palo Santo tree, one of thousands on a cliffside on those god-forsaken islands where a million events occur among the witless, where a splash of rain may drop on a yellow iguana the size of a dachshund, and 10 minutes later, the iguana may blink. I would like to come back as a Palo Santo tree on the weather side of an island, so that I could be, myself, a perfect witness, and look, mute, and wave my arms.